The first speech of this session is on the topic of a source of unity for Muslim Ummah, and I request Mohtaram Mozaffar Ahmad Ṣāḥib, Missionary Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamāʻat, to please come and present.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected elders, honorable guests, and my dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today I stand before you with deep humility and immense gratitude to speak about a subject that lies at the very heart of our spiritual existence. Khilafat, the divine institution of spiritual leadership. The institution that unites, uplifts, and transforms us all. Khilafat is not a man-made invention. Rather, it is a blessing from Allah the Almighty. As Khilafat is not a mere concept, it is a divine promise from Allah, as Allah says in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Nur, verse 56. Allah has promised to those among you who believe and do righteous deeds that He will surely make them successors in the earth. This promise is as true today as it was during the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and his companions. Khilafat is a manifestation of God's mercy and a continuation of prophethood, not in some management capacity, rather in both spiritual and moral guidance. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, foretold that after his passing, Khilafat would be established on the precepts of prophethood. And indeed, the rightly guided Khulafa, Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman, and Hazrat Ali, may Allah be pleased with them, fulfilled this vision through their righteousness, through justice, and through their sacrifices. The Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Prophethood shall remain among you as long as Allah shall will. He will bring about its end and follow it with Khilafat on the precepts of prophethood for as long as He shall will, and then bring about its end. A monarchy will then follow and will remain as long as Allah shall will, and then come to an end. There will follow thereafter tyranny to last as long as Allah shall will, and come to an end upon His decree. There will then emerge Khilafat on the precept of prophethood." So, as time passed, these words of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, were fulfilled. And true Khilafat faded, and political kingship emerged. Then centuries later, in the year 1908, that Khilafat was revived through Khilafat-e-Ahmadiyya after the passing of our beloved promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, on whom be peace. This was not a coincidence, nor a man-made intervention. Rather, it was the rebirth of Khilafat, the second manifestation of prophethood. Khilafat-e-Ahmadiyya has had 5 rightly guided Khulafa, and under the guidance of each and every one of them, we have seen our Jamāʻat grow and succeed. The first Khalifa had fulfilled a prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ and the truthfulness of his advent by uniting the Muslim Ummah together after his passing. Then, the second Khalifa as well fulfilled another prophecy of being the promised reformer by spreading the message of the Promised Messiah ﷺ to the corners of the world. Then after him was the third Khalifa, when immense persecution as well as immense danger was brought upon by Muslims themselves against Ahmadi Muslims. However, we reacted the same way that the early Muslims reacted when they fought persecution. We did so with patience and prayers, and through his guidance, the Khalifa told us to show our character above all else. Then, during the time of the fourth Khalifa, when he was required to leave his homeland due to these dangers and persecution, the enemies thought that this would be the end of our Jamāʻat, but through the blessings of Khilafat, our Jamāʻat spread, and through initiatives and prayers by the fourth Khalifa, we have the immense blessings that we have today. And as of 2003, we have been under the guidance of our fifth Khalifa, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper. His leadership has become a global beacon of peace, a model of moral clarity, and a unifying force for millions. Last month at Jalsa Salana, UK, in one of Hazuri Anwar's addresses, he spoke about the amount of progress that the Ahmadi Muslim Jamāʻat had made. By the grace of Allah, over 200,000 people had accepted the Jamāʻat this past year. This could not have been done without the blessings from Allah the Almighty through Khilafat. The MTA team hosting the Jalsa Salana UK beautifully spoke about the unity and the progress of the Jamāʻat through Khilafat. They said right before the Bai'at ceremony that the reason for this progress is this unity, and that is why Ahmadi Muslims here are joined to participate in that unity and give their allegiance to one leader. This is the drive behind how the progress of the Jamāʻat, the publications and translations of the Quran, publications of books, and the building of mosques worldwide. All the efforts are being done through this unity and brotherhood of the Jamāʻat due to the blessings of Khilafat. There are countless personal stories between our Khalifa and people around the world. For example, in 2013, when Hazur visited Australia, a young couple had a child that struggled to digest milk. This was a very serious concern. So when the young couple had a mulaqat with Hazur, they requested for prayers for the health of their child. Then Hazur had given that young child some honey and told them that inshallah everything will be fine, and prayed for that child. They said that shortly afterwards the child had recovered and had no lingering health issues. Then again, another couple had a daughter born with a clenched fist. This symptom was a sign of a motor neuron disease or disability. The couple, being steadfast and having firm faith, they went to their Khalifa. They requested for prayers. Hazur had responded and said that everything will be fine, and prayed for them. Then shortly afterwards, that little girl, her hand opened up, and she had no issues, neither physical nor mental, and in fact was excelling in her studies. Then another Khadim from the UK said that he would have trouble revising, and Hazur had guided him and told him to study for 20 minutes and then take a walk for 5 minutes. The Khadim said that this had such a profound effect on him that he was able to excel in his studies, and this is something that he cherishes even today, as he now has his PhD. This fact is true for all people. Whether Ahmadi Muslims, non-Ahmadi Muslims, or non-Muslims, the Khalifa is for everyone, and the blessings and prayers that he gives is for everyone. And this is true in this next example. For some of you that you may not know, I'm Murabbi posted in Yellowknife, and we've had the opportunity to host events in these remote areas. So in a small town called Hay River in the Northwest Territories, we had the privilege of meeting a former indigenous chief that at the time, when we were running these events 10 years ago, he was the indigenous chief, and he met the Ahmadi Muslims that visited there and created a strong bond with them. Shortly afterwards, his wife became ill, and the doctors had told the chief that there's nothing that they could do. And even if she would to survive, she would have lingering health concerns and would not be able to do some of the things that she would love to do with her family. So when the Ahmadi Muslims knew of this, they had advised the chief to write a letter to Huzur, even though he is not an Ahmadi Muslim. The chief, being open-minded and a believer in prayers, had written this letter to Huzur. Shortly afterwards, he received a response. And Huzur had advised that he had prayed for his wife. Then miraculously, she had recovered. And she did not have any of these lingering health concerns that the doctor said that she would. And now, the chief and his wife do all the things that they love to do with their families, even today. So where else in the world do you find such a vast global community across Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas, functioning as one body, under one imam? Every day, from any part of the world, we see the unity and blessings brought upon by Khilafat. From our Jalsas around the world, countless Ahmadis have said that every moment they have with Huzur, may Allah be his helper, is special, as he is the only leader that shows this much love and affection to his people. He responds to thousands of letters every day and is constantly praying and advising everyone around the world. During the life of the fourth Khalifa, a now Khadim from Canada said one of the greatest memories he has as a child is when he was in Atfal and the fourth Khalifa would visit Canada for Jalsa Salana. He said that the Atfal were instructed to wait at the masjid while Huzur was coming from the airport, and they were given flower petals to throw while Huzur would make his entrance to the masjid. When Huzur had arrived, all the Atfal were so awe-inspired, and when they saw Huzur, they were so overtaken with emotion that when he walked by them, the Atfal forgot to throw the flower petals. And he said that this was such a profound effect that Khilafat had on his life and his childhood, that we had such a connection with our Khalifa at such a young age, and we forgot to do this small task. And from that day, he said he still remembers it.
Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Khilafat-e-Ahmadiyya, Khilafat-e-Ahmadiyya, inni ma'aka, Nare Takbir.
Then there's another brother who said that his favorite memory with his beloved Khalifa is that he was honored to have a hug from Huzur, and said that this was just as beautiful as the dreams that he would have about having this opportunity. Then in 2008, an American brother visited London and said that his favorite memory with Huzur is that he also had a chance to hug Huzur. And he was able to say, "I love you" to Huzur. And then Huzur responded back and said, "I love you too." Then another Khadim from Scotland longed for years to shake the Khalifa's hand before transitioning into an Ansar. So at his last Istima, he prayed fervently during the Hajjat, asking Allah to grant him this honor once before leaving Khudam. After the event ended and the buses were preparing to leave, he felt dejected as he felt that he had missed his opportunity. Then suddenly, someone was saying that Huzur was making rounds and everyone had left the bus. Then the Khadim said, or now Ansar said, that amongst the crowd, he was specifically called forward. The Khalifa smiled, mentioned his transition to Ansar, and lovingly shook his hand, even holding his arm for a long moment. This became a lifelong memory, which he called a sign that Allah hears sincere prayers. Then, another Khadim from Canada last year had the honor of meeting Hazur in the UK with his wife and their young daughter. He said this was the first time that he had met a Khalifa without his parents, and he was very excited. And when he went to meet Hazur, he requested a handshake from Hazur. Due to the COVID regulations of these mulaqats, Hazur had to politely decline. And he told Hazur the reason why he requested for this is that he has a brother and he has a father. And they both have pictures with Hazur shaking his hand. And when Hazur heard this, and it was time to take a picture, Hazur grabbed that brother. He held him by the wrist with both hands and took a picture with him. That brother said that was a deep connection that he had with Khilafat and an immense connection that he felt with Allah. We offer one bai'at. We follow one voice. We raise one prayer. This is the miracle of Khilafat, bestowed upon us by Allah the Almighty. Furthermore, Khilafat brings unparalleled spiritual guidance. Every Friday, we hear beloved Hazur's Friday sermon, and it's reached to everyone instantly. His instructions are not based on politics, but on taqwa. He reminds us that our success lies not in power, but in our prayer. In 2016, a Canadian brother wrote to beloved Hazur when he left for Ottawa that he was struggling with spirituality. When Hazur, may Allah be his helper, was in Peace Village, he was enjoying that spiritual high of offering prayers behind beloved Hazur and being in his company, as many of us were. Then Hazur's response in his letter was simple, but it was important. He said, "You yourself should establish a connection with Allah." From this, the Khadim learned that his priority is always focusing on establishing a relationship with Allah, no matter where beloved Hazur is. As wherever you are, you can create that connection with beloved Hazur. And the purpose of Khilafat is to eradicate any type of shirk and be under the one banner of following the one God. One of the most remarkable qualities of the Khalifa is his ability to lead with a deep sense of compassion and understanding. This leadership is not just about making decisions, but about reflecting on the values of Islam in every interaction. He always strives to embody the qualities of kindness, humility, empathy, that his actions align with the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. An example of this is seen in how he treats everyone with respect, regardless of their position or status. In his speeches and interactions, he consistently emphasizes the importance of unity, the need to avoid division, and the obligation to serve humanity. His leadership is rooted in the belief that Islam is a religion of peace, tolerance, and understanding. And that is the duty of every Muslim to reflect these values in their actions. Beloved Hazur, may Allah be his helper, also frequently reminds us praying and connecting with Allah, as well as the importance of focusing on the greater good and working together to achieve peace in the world. He encourages us to serve others selflessly, to put the needs of the community before our own, and to be kind to those around us, even in the face of adversity. Under Khilafat, our community has established schools, hospitals, and many relief programs in some of the most underdeveloped parts of the world. Through Humanity First and countless other charitable efforts, as many of us know, Humanity First is an international charity founded under the guidance of Khilafat in 1995. as it was established following the directive of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV, may Allah be pleased with him, to serve those in need, regardless of race, religion, or background, unifying us and reminding everyone that we are people and we are responsible for one another. Especially those of us who live in these first world countries, we are responsible for helping those and unifying those living in third world countries. Humanity First is guided by the principle, serving mankind is worship. Those projects include disaster relief, healthcare, education, food security, and water access. Beloved Huzur has said regarding this initiative, you are not serving humanity merely out of good nature. Your service is a demand of your faith. Khilafat inspires this vision. Humanity First puts it into action. Therefore, the Khalifa emphasizes selfless service, justice, and compassion as core Islamic values. Volunteers of Humanity First act on the Khalifa's call to alleviate suffering, heal the sick, and uplift the poor, uniting us all, both through spirituality and secular levels, uniting the entire world. Service is not for the fame or reward, but for the pleasure of Allah and the betterment of mankind. Thus, the impact and legacy by our Khalifa is timeless. Humanity First has delivered millions in aid, built hospitals, fed orphans, and empowered women and children around the world. Throughout Khilafat's leadership, the community is unified in its humanitarian mission, promoting peace, dignity, and universal brotherhood. This is a leadership that heals wounds and unifies mankind, regardless of anything else. The true teachings of Khilafat. So our duties as members of this Jamāʻat is, with great blessings, of course, comes great responsibilities. If we are truly blessed with Khilafat, then let us strengthen our bond with the Khalifa, not just in words, but in spirit and action. Let us mold our homes, our priorities, and our ambitions to align with the guidance of the Khalifa. Let us pray daily for his protection and victory, and for the triumph of the true under his leadership. An American brother recalls his meeting with the third Khalifa and said, "We went to meet him and we had multiple mulaqats a day. There were American brothers asking questions about Ahmadis in Pakistan and had many questions. The third Khalifa sent a murabbi to answer the questions the delegation had regarding Ahmadiyya. So a man came riding a motorcycle, wearing a Janāʻat cap, and it was like his bike almost parked itself. The brother said that all we could think about, that this was such a cool person. We introduced ourselves, and he said his name was Mirza Tahir Ahmad, the fourth Khalifa. We asked him what his position in the Jamāʻat was, and he replied, the same as yours. Then in a very American way, we asked him again, no, brother, what is your position in the Jamāʻat? He again replied, the same as yours. Then pointing towards Markaz, saying that we all are serving under one beloved Khalifa, regardless where we are from. As we are reminded every year, Khilafat is not something we take for granted. The generations before us made sacrifices to establish it. Our duty is to safeguard it with loyalty, obedience, and constant supplication. So my dear brothers, Khilafat is not history, it is living history. It is a tree that continues to bear fruit in every age. It is a rope of Allah to which we are all commanded to hold fast. Let us never allow arrogance, ignorance, or worldliness to loosen our grip on this divine lifeline. Instead, let us respond to this immense blessing with gratitude, patience, and obedience. And finally, let us always remember the beautiful prayer, O Allah, protect our Khalifa, strengthen his hand, make us true helpers in his mission, and let Khilafat remain among us until the day of judgment. Jazakumullah.
Jazakumullah, ahsan al-jaza.